Right, the concept of earned value. Let's look at what OpenAI defines earned value as. This is a very important metric in project management, and we're going to show you in this video how one in fact uses it in MS Project. But first, the theory. Earned value is a project management metric that is used to measure the progress of a project by comparing the actual work completed to the planned work and cost. It is also known as earned value management, okay, and is based on the principle that the value of work completed is equal to the cost of work completed. Earned value is used to determine if a project is on track or if it is behind schedule and over budget. Remember, you've got behind schedule, ahead of schedule, over budget, and under budget. It provides a way to measure the actual progress of a project against the planned progress and can help identify potential problems early so that corrective action can be taken to bring the project back on track. It's a very good measurement tool for that PMO, project management office, should I say, that meeting where you are measuring the project. We're going to look at an example in MS Project soon. The formula for earned value is typically represented as earned value equals percentage complete times planned value. But let's look at a small example here. Just remember, ACWP stands for actual cost of work performed, BCWP, budget cost of work performed, BCWS, budget cost of work scheduled. Let's look at this small project here, which is literally one task long, and it is 7 hours, days, weeks, months, whatever. Okay, the dark area is the area that has actually been completed. The red line is the reporting date. So clearly we can see it is behind schedule here, but we're going to look at that in terms of earned value metrics. Right, okay. So let's say we spent 500 on that task. We just spent that. That's not what was planned. We spent that. The budgeted cost of work performed, that is for the first 3 days, is 600. Why? Because it costs 200 per day. 200, 200, 200. Therefore, the budgeted cost of work performed is 600. The budgeted cost of work scheduled goes up to the red line, and that will be 800. Good. Now we're going to actually do some calculations. CPI, which would be the cost performance index, would be BCWP divided by ACWP, in this case, resulting in 1.2. Below 1 is over budget. Over 1 is under budget. So we are under budget here for this, and that is clear to see, okay, if we compare those two numbers. By how much? If the question is then by how much, then we would say BCWP minus ACWP to come up with the cost variance, and over budget by how much? And we're under budget. Okay, we're under budget by 100 in this case. Okay. SPI would be the budgeted, that would be scheduled performance index, would be the budget cost of work performed divided by the budget cost of work scheduled. Okay, and in this case, we would come budget cost of work performed, which would be 600 divided by 800, which would come up with a 0.75. Shared performance index below 1 is behind, and that much is obvious anyway. We can see that it's behind. But by how much? And that will be your schedule variance. So budget cost of work performed minus budget cost of work scheduled gives us a minus 200. The schedule variance would be minus 200. Now, let's look at a project management example in MS Project to show this in a more realistic way. Click there, of course, when you get this document to activate the video on YouTube. Right, so let's have a look here at earned value using a small project. This we've got an IT project over here. It started round about the 4th of April, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of April here. Currently we are sitting on the 25th of April, so it's a fair way in, although it hasn't been tracked yet. So let's just track it up to date, as if it's up to date, and then we'll make a few changes. So clearly it's been tracked up to date. There we go. All right, now, if we reveal the earned value table, we would go to View, Tables, and More Tables, and activate our earned value table there. All right, let's say earned value, cost indicators. No, let's just go earned value. Okay, so what this would then show is, as per the previous theory explanation, there's our budget cost of work scheduled, our budget cost of work performed, our actual cost of work performed. Okay, all right, and I'm going to add a couple of columns. These ones over here, they've got the schedule variance and the cost variance, which is pretty good. I'm going to get rid of these two. All right, so hide those two columns over there because I want to add, and the VAC as well. These are extra fields that MS Project gives you. Okay, so I'm going to add a new column over here, and let's choose percentage complete because we're going to tamper with that. All right, it's currently up to date, but let's also now choose SPI and CPI. SPI, there we go, and CPI. Now watch what happens. It's really interesting. CPI, okay, and there's SPI and CPI. All right. So let's say, let's add an actual cost column as well. Actual cost, because that's going to help us with actual cost of work performed, although we could change it there. Okay. All right, but you can see it's preventing me changing it there, but it will allow me to change it there. So the number one means things are on track and on budget. That's what number one means. But let's tamper with that. Let's say, for example, the actual cost of this task over here, and that would be, of course, that one that should have been completed already. Let's say the actual cost went up to 100,000. Notice how things change. Now the CPI is at 3.26, which means it's way over, sorry, in that case, under budget. I typed in 10,000. Let's type in 100,000. Okay, there we go, 0.33, way over budget. Okay. All right, so I'm going to undo that so that you can see that represented there. There, it's back to 1. All right, and let's go to our percentage complete. Let's say this one's not at 100%. Let's say it's only at 45%. Watch this. This SPI now changes to 0.45, which means it's way, way behind schedule. Okay, so that is revealed when you add these columns to the earned value table.